So a few days ago, we saw the reveal trailer for Mario Kart World, among other games, and Nintendo Switch 2, and it's something that people are excited about until they realize that they may not be able to purchase it because of how expensive they're going to end up being. And the reason I say that is because it was revealed that Mario Kart World by itself was supposed to be $80, somewhere around that ballpark. And the Switch console is supposed to be $450 by itself. If you decide to get the bundle with Mario Kart World and the Switch 2, that's like $500, which doesn't sound bad. But a lot of people forget that the current presidential administration has imposed tariffs on foreign goods, and it's supposed to go into effect on April 5th, which is today. Now, with these with these price hikes happening, it makes you wonder what the Switch 2 is going to cost. How much is Mario Kart World going to cost? I mean, honestly, like at this point, the game along with the Switch 2 might be unbuyable, except for those who are wealthy. And even then, I still feel like this is something that's going to have a negative impact on the sales of Mario Kart World and all the games that's supposed to be on the Switch 2 that are supposed to come out this year. And honestly, like I don't know, I feel like this is something where like if this came out like years ago, like I don't know, like several years ago, it would be a huge deal and sales would be great and everything. But I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the case this time around with this generation of Nintendo and Mario games and just Nintendo games in general. And honestly, it makes me wonder if Mario Kart World is this expensive. How expensive is GTA 6 going to be? Because there's been rumors about the price or the potential price for GTA 6 that it'll be at least $100. And it's going to make it very difficult for anyone to buy Grand Theft Auto 6. And I don't know, like to me, like both games kind of mirror each other in some ways. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 and Mario Kart World is because their prequels came out like a year after one another. And what I mean by that is like the original Mario Kart 8 game came out in 2014 on the Wii U. And Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on the PlayStation 4 back in like 2013. So, in a way, they kind of mirror each other. And as far as like, gameplay and graphics and stuff like that, people are impressed by what they saw with Mario Kart World and with GTA 6. But, they're uncertain on whether or not those two games will be as good as their predecessors. But the thing is, like, even if they are, they're going to be significantly more expensive than their predecessors, obviously, because the cost of living keeps going up, prices in general is going up, inflation, and all this bad, negative stuff that's happening that's pretty much going to make gaming damn near unaffordable. And that's going to be bad for gaming companies as well because we all know that they like to try and get as much as they can out of their consumers financially. And that's normally by like, adding DLCs or trying to coerce them into getting game passes or, you know, like anything they can possibly like think of in terms of like getting your pockets and just trying to get you to buy more than you actually need to. And I feel like this is a destructive trend that has been caused by greed. And I feel like this whole thing with like tariffs and all this stuff, I mean, it's going to make the landscape of gaming even worse. And the reason I say that is because people are not going to really like care that much about gaming anymore. In fact, people are going to start looking to the classics. They're going to start buying games from older generations. They're probably going to lean towards purchasing older generation consoles because there are a lot of like good games back in the day that were finished products. It's not like um you had like a video game and then you had a bunch of hidden characters that you had to buy in DLC. So I don't know. I feel like as good as Mario Kart World looks and as impressive as the game modes are and the features are, I feel like it's definitely going to suffer because of A, its price, B, these tariffs that are being set in place to increase the cost of foreign goods coming into America. And and I don't know, I think it's a damn shame because so many people waited really long for Mario Kart World to be a thing. And I mean, I'm not exactly sure like how well like this game is going to do in other countries, but I know for a fact that when it comes down to like, games made in like Japan and stuff like that, um, Americans were like, we're like among the top consumers in terms of like, gaming products, accessories, hardware, and all that stuff. And I'm starting to think that this is something that's going to have a detrimental effect on the sales of the Switch 2. And honestly, I mean, I think that Mario Kart World is not even going to have a fair chance on surpassing its predecessor in terms of sales because I know that's something that people have talked about in the past, whether or not Mario Kart World is going to surpass Mario Kart 8 Deluxe from 2017. At this point, I don't think so. Um, I don't see it like doing anywhere around the realm of like 65 million, which is like what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did. And I think like for the most part, like people are going to be more conservative when it comes to spending and all that because I don't know. I mean, like I've heard like mixed things about Mario Kart World. Like some people liked it, some people thought it was boring, some people thought the aesthetics from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looked better because you had brighter, graphics and stuff like that. But the graphics for Mario Kart World, looked more detailed, and obviously because the Switch 2 is just as powerful as the PlayStation 4, and obviously you have 4K resolution, 1080p, you have all that stuff in the Switch 2. But the thing is, what good is it if nobody really buys it? It's something that is going to be it's probably going to be something that's going to be rare among Americans in America for the most part because not a lot of people are going to have it. Like I think it's going to be one of those things where the Switch 2, and at least I'm hoping this is not the case, but it's probably going to be one of those things where the Switch 2 is going to be as expensive as the Neo Geo was back in the 90s. And the thing is, the Neo Geo was probably one of the best game consoles of the 90s decade, but it didn't really get talked about as much because a lot of people really didn't have it and a lot of people really didn't know about it. But this is Nintendo. Everybody knows who Nintendo is. For the most part, Nintendo has dominated the gaming market in various different countries, including America, for decades. So I feel like this is going to be a rather interesting situation, to say the very least. And if people aren't buying like new games and new consoles and stuff like that, especially like with like, gaming stores, like GameStop and what have you, I could see more like of those type of retailers just shutting down in the future because I feel like that's the trend that's going on like now for the most part because it seems like people are just losing their jobs left and right because a lot of retailers are shutting down, a lot of cuts are being made, and it's something that's having a detrimental impact on people's lives and on the economy and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the implications of all this, is it is just too much to even fathom. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, Mario Kart World is it's actually really expensive and a lot of people are not happy about it, and I don't think too many people are going to pay $80 for Mario Kart World for the most part. But I don't know, I mean, it doesn't mean you can't wait for the price to drop at some point because that's normally what people do nowadays. They'll wait like a year or two for the price to drop, then they'll check it out or what have you. But um but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't even predict like how well this game is going to do at this point because Because like at least with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's like, you can kind of like, give a prediction based off of what because it's not like there were all these variables and factors that would have a detrimental effect on the game or anything like that. But apparently that's the thing for Mario Kart World. You have tariffs. Nintendo is charging unreasonable prices according to some people. And I don't know, I guess like there were aspects about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that people liked that Mario Kart 9 may not have. And even though Mario Kart 9 looks like an improvement from Mario Kart 8, there are some people who feel like Nintendo could have done a little bit more. But I'll say this is the first time I've ever seen an open world map in a Mario Kart game in general. And I do feel like the features is something that certain people will go out of their way to check out, because I think, when you go to some retailers, you can buy like hardware and you don't have to pay it all off at once, but it's like you can make payments on it like every week or month or something like that. I don't know, maybe it's something that people will consider doing in the future, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure how things are going to look for this game. I'm not exactly sure how well this game is going to do in terms of sales. So we'll just have to sit back and wait and see what happens in the future.